The pleasure of tuning out the negative today on Fortitude through Stoicism, and this is my 365-day journey of implementing the ancient philosophy of Stoicism into the life of this modern masculine man. Had an example of this one today. It's the first, a quote by Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor. How satisfying it is to dismiss and block out any upsetting or foreign impression, and immediately have peace in all things. So today I got a call. It was legal in nature, some BS I got to deal with. In the past, I would have erupted, I've been upset. Nope. Send a quick email, send it off to my attorney. I'm going to Busch Gardens. I went and hung out with the cheetahs, took pictures of the animals, had hot chocolate, because it's cold here in Tampa. I literally went right back, and I said, I'm not going to let that just destroy my peace. Going right back into it. Same thing, down I'm at the Busch Gardens. They called me, I'm not even working today. They took the day off to celebrate someone's birthday. They're calling me all kinds of problems. So they tell me I deal with it. So I'm like, all right, anger mode, 60 seconds, deal with it, boom. Done, settled, complete boss mode. I said, no, now I'm gonna go back to my peace. And the truth is, it's so easy to slide right back into that now. The Stoics were mercifully spared the overload of today's social media, the newspapers, the television, the talking heads in the media, all of that chatter to get you riled up. But even back then, since they didn't have that, but even back then, an undisciplined person would have found plenty to get distracted by and upset by. So, Publius Syrus says, always shun that which makes you angry, meaning you turn your mind away from things that provoke it. So, for example, if talking about politics at the dinner table riles everyone up, don't talk about politics. The funny thing is, as a Freemason, you have to believe in a God, and clearly Freemasons throughout the history of humanity have been involved in some type of politics, leadership, governance. Well, in lodge, there's two things that we are forbidden to talk about. Religion and politics. Why? Because it's so divisive. But that's what gets ratings, right? That's what gets people angered and passionate. So again, if it gets you riled up, the easiest thing to do is don't subscribe to it. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. And the same goes for any other sources of aggravation. And so I talk about this because this year I've really, again, I'm finalizing my 2025 life plan, but this has been in works now for a couple months. And the reason why is because it's a living document. A lot goes into it. And it's really an evolution of my thought from year to year, how I'm going to focus my energies. And yeah, over this past year, Stoicism was the 2024 focus so that I could find peace and control in my emotional regulations, to learn to let things go, to work on my detachment. All of the principles of Stoicism is what I've been working on this year in my character development. I've talked about this, and as I'm transitioning into 2025, this is the year it's all about my peace. So again, just like it says here, always shun that which makes you angry. So if something is destroying my peace, it's gone. In all things, Crunch Fitness, I was always repeatedly just complaining and just upset. I know Stoics shouldn't complain, but again, you don't need to set yourself on fire to prove that you can withstand the pain. Again, my point is, if it's a constant source of irritation, going to Crunch Fitness, the sauna never working or barely working, or sitting there watching people, I watched them get up and pour the water on the electric thing. I'm like, oh my God. No habla inglés, motherfucker, come on. The sign says no water. So again, there's no sense in putting myself in that situation. I gotta hire a barrier of entry. I went to Lifetime Fitness, $1,000 deposit and $359 a month. Yeah. So you don't have the $32 a month knuckleheads. it's a different environment. And again, can I mentally withstand and go to a crunch and deal with all the bullshit? Yeah, I have, but why? What's the purpose? Just to prove that I can? Well, that's just foolishness. Just like we talk about in the 21 Principles of Dokudo, we don't go out there and intentionally seek pleasure, but we also don't go out there and intentionally seek pain. How about that? Like, there's no reason. Part of suffering, just let it go. So it is not a sign of weakness to shut all of that out. It's actually a sign of strong will. Try saying, I know the reaction I typically take in these situations. I'm not going to do it this time. Another example. Oh, I love this. I love dealing with salespeople. They're great, especially cold calls, unwanted solicitations. Well, when you go to Busch Gardens, they have random choke points, of course. They have the people trying to sell timeshare stuff, right? So again, super aggressive, open-ended questions. Hey, which membership do you have? This one or this one? All that stuff. So normally I get pretty frustrated. Man, I'm just trying to enjoy my one day of peace, right? And today we were going through the choke point. I knew that it was coming. They did their pitch. I just smiled and said, thank you so much. Have a great day. And I kept walking, and all I got in response was thank you. It was a much better interaction that I had than I normally have. And again, I got to kind of credit Buddha for that one because I cultivate compassion for myself and others. So instead of just being that rude dickhead that I normally am, I just showed some compassion and greeted them on their day and thanked them for saying hi, essentially. Again, that's not weakness. It's a sign of strength and it's evolution. And on that, time to go enjoy the rest of this day.